Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Troller. 1972 to 1975.
Game 534, Reds and Cardinals.
Welcome back, baseball fans. 1972-75 Carryover League. We are in the last matchup of the first round of the race for the pennant tournament. Battle of third and fourth place teams, Cincinnati Reds and St. Louis Cardinals. In the best division in the baseball, the National League North. Cubs have first base. They're in first presently over the Pirates. They beat the Pirates the last series they played. Reds have been kind of under the radar. Not much talked about them this year. Quietly playing better than average baseball, but not killing people and, destroying their opponents and big red machining and so forth. But they're right there. They're right there at the edge of the division title, at least a wild card. But they've got an incredible roster. And the Cardinals are the team at the very bottom who has just been, unfortunately, the little bird that got kicked out of the nest in this gruesomely difficult division. Let's look at the needs for the teams in this postseason tournament. The last matchup is right here, and it's the most difficult one for one of the teams. The Cardinals found themselves waking up 5.5 games behind the Cincinnati Reds. Home field, Cincinnati Reds, because the Cardinals had it in their previous matchup. Cardinals do have a tiebreaker if it's worthwhile, +1, won't need it. When you're 5.5 games back, you need to win 6 of 7. Actually, that tiebreaker does kick in, because winning 6 of 7 still puts them a half game back, but they get to use that tiebreaker to get a game 8. Cardinals have to do the unthinkable and beat the Reds 7 out of 8 times. So it's the longest odds of any of the first round tournament matchups, the most predictable result. Let's see what happens. Game 1 opening up in Cincinnati. It is Bob Gibson for the Cardinals. Don Gullett for the Reds. Big Red Machine is sputtering. They get a Tony Perez homer in the second inning. They get a walk, a Morgan stolen base, he's stranded. A walk, Morgan fielder's choice stolen base, he's stranded. Morgan singles, steals a base, he's stranded. Morgan fielder's choice steals a base, he's stranded. So Joe Morgan's uniform is completely brown with dirt at this point. With 4 stolen bases and 4 attempts through 7 frames. As much as I bellyache about stolen bases, he has come through in a big way, Joe Morgan. Otherwise, he's hitting around 230, which is disappointing. He gets stranded in all those opportunities because, like the number 2 hitter, Tolan went 0 for 4, and Pete Rose in a 3-hole went 0 for 3 when he was on base. Cardinals got their runs off of Mr. Gullett, sprinkled them throughout. RBI single, Jim Hart. RBI sac fly, Reggie Smith. Big 3-run 8th inning off relievers. Gullett, then Pedro Borbon, Jack Aker. Punctuated with a 3-run homer by John Kennedy, former Red Sox. Reds staged a comeback in the 9th against Bob Gibson with 4 singles, coming within a run, but Gibson strikes Johnny Bench out to end the game in a battle of Hall of Famers. So give the Cardinals credit for not just packing their suitcases. They came to Cincinnati with suitcases and a broom in their hand. They think they're going to rip off 7 straight wins. Not even need a game 8. That's the goal. 7 straight wins. That's their mind. So anyway. Gibson, 9 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs, 3 walks, 5 Ks. And the Cardinals get the Game 1 victory, 5-4. Now, it must be noted, the Reds have very little to gain in this scenario. At this point, they need to win the next 2 games. If they do that, the series is over. The Reds just need to win 2 of the next 7 games. But they need to win the next 2 so they can pick up a game in the standings. Every time the Cardinals win, the Reds are spinning their wheels and slipping further behind the division race with the Pirates and the Cubs. Let's see what happens in Game 2. Game 2. It is John Curtis versus Gary Nolan. This time, the Reds have answers. In the 4th inning, a double, an error by Joe Torre at first base, and they get a that scores the runner, unearned run. Then in the 5th inning, you get a Dave Concepcion 2-run double, all-star shortstop, second on the team in RBIs, a sac fly by Rod Gilbreth. Then it's all academic by the 7th inning as the Red Machine finally gets a bat around. They're due for these, you know. Walk, single, single, double K, walk, triple kind of thing. And they get a 5-run 7th inning, and that's all she wrote. 9-2 Reds. Well, the Reds get a split at home. It's like kissing your sister. They wanted to get this thing done 2-0. They cannot. It's 1-1. Let's look at the overall standings now, and you'll see the interesting dilemma as the Cardinals are a game away from elimination. So, in this division, the Cubs are in first. Pirates are 3 back. Reds pulled a half game ahead of the Pirates at 18-15, 19-17. That's why the Reds want to get this thing over today and go a complete game ahead of the Pirates. If the Cardinals beat the Reds, you know, it's only going to get closer and closer. So the Reds have very little to gain. Maximum is 4 over 500. Every time the Cardinals win a game, you know, these seeding numbers aren't correct presently. We'll wait to do that at the end of the round. Now, the Cardinals, on the other hand, at 12-20, 8 games under 500. As far as last place teams and the first pick in the draft next year, Dodgers, Portland's reasonable. We got the Marlins 500. That's very reasonable. Cardinals are -8. American League, Yankees finished -8. Ohio -11. I don't think the Cardinals can get there. No. -7. Seattle -9. Well, they can't get the first overall pick in the draft. That'll be Ohio again. But the Cardinals are currently sitting at 2nd or 3rd pick, depending on how this goes. Every time they win, they'll fall down in the overall drafting order. That's all they're really playing for at this point. Can't even get the Commissioner Award. Looks like Florida sewed that up with roster participation. Anyway, that's a lot of minutia here, folks. Let's just get to the baseball. Game 3 from St. Louis. Jack Billingham for the Cincinnati Reds. Billingham's actually pitched pretty well this year. 19-game winner, 73, 3.04 ERA, 293 innings for that World Series squad. Well, actually, they didn't go to the World Series in 73. They went in 72. They were better in 73. And the Cardinals send this guy, Scipio Spinks. Didn't have a long career, but he has a nice card here in 72. 2.67 ERA and 118 innings. Pretty darn good against lefties. Not a lot of extra base hits or hits in general, just walks. Doesn't give up a lot of homers, just 5 and 118 innings. Billingham Spinks, this is a trap for the Reds. This whole series is a trap. The Cardinals, I mean, if they can do one thing well, that's play the Reds tough. They beat them 4-3 earlier. They're now 5-4 on the year. Think about that. 5-4 against the Cincinnati Reds. But against everybody else, they're 7-16. And everybody else is the Cubs, Pirates, and you get the idea. So let's get started from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Leading off, it'll be Joe Morgan. 2-6 for Joe is a single 1-13, and he lines out on a 20. It has been that type of year for Morgan, not making the impact the Reds thought when they made the offseason deal. Hasn't worked yet. Probably will work in the next 3-4 years, but presently he's struggling. Pete Rose, 65. Pete Rose hit 264 in the regular season. 65, single into 11, base hit. Hit 264 before the All-Star break on a card that hits 338. George Foster, he's been a pleasant surprise. 66, base hit left field. Rose, does he want to go coast to coast on the 0 arm? He's going to do it on a 16, and he makes it. Runners on the corners for Johnny Bench. 64 off Spinks. Homer 1-5. Double the rest. It's a double. Foster, a 14 runner. McBride's got a +2 arm in center field. He'll try and score. And he does on a 12. And the Reds are running and winning and scoring. And it's 2-zip. Runner at second. Tony Perez. 39 is a K. Then with 2 outs, it's Bobby Tolan of the Bells. 54, center X. McBride, bad arm, but good defensive player the rest of the way. 2 in center field, makes the catch. Reds get 2-0 lead. First time they've had an early lead in the series. It'll be Lou Brock. 33, pops to third. McBride. 66 is a base hit. Ace stealer, but you got benched, and he's only been tested once he's only given up 1 stolen base this year. That was to Vic Davalio in a game we played earlier. Reggie Smith, 210, fly to right. Do we try it down 2 runs or let Ted Simmons swing away? Let Simmons swing away here. 67, there it is, base hit in the center. You want to take on Geronimo now. Another -4 arm. No thanks. Joe Torre. 46, he flies left. That's how the Reds will kill you defensively. Bench and Geronimo's arms. You're just stuck station to station, whether you have speed or not. Dave Concepcion, 64. Again off the Spinks card, homer 1-5. He misses, gets the double. Here is Cesar Geronimo, 53. Rolls to first. You got a runner at third, 1 out. They're going to bring the infield up for Dennis Mankey. 34. Let's take a look at this card. A fun card for Dennis Mankey, also known as the toss-in in the Joe Morgan deal. And frankly, Mankey, what more do you want out of a guy who can play third and first as a 2, a 3 at second, plays shortstop, ton of walks, power versus lefties. I mean, the guy hits 191 with this card. You add in the on base, he's probably got like a 380, 390 on base percentage. 3-4 in this case, double 1 to 19. We got a 3-0 game. The Cardinals are hoping they could win the next 2 games, and then they could get Bob Gibson. They could see their Hall of Famer in a Game 5. But it's not looking good presently. Back up top to Joe Morgan. 2-11 rolls to first. Runner at third, 2 outs for Pete Rose, 5-10, and he strikes out. Not even a catcher's X in that roll. 3-0. It'll be Bill Sadakis. 67 is a base hit. Mike Phillips, 2-9, flies to right. Don Buford, 1-9, former Oriole, walks. Ted Sizemore, 1-6. Here come the Cardinals. Base hit left field. Sadakis, you're not going to run him. The bases are loaded for Lou Brock. B bunter. Triple A stealer. B bunter. They're going to play it back with a 3-0 lead. Here's your pitch to Lou Brock. 3-6 is ball 4, and Billingham is blowing the 3-0 lead. 3-1. Base is still loaded. They got to bring it up now for A bunting Bake McBride. 3-10. Right be question mark. This is Buford. They'll run him against the Tolan arm of -2. It's going to be close. He should score, though. We're talking Buford, right? 15, 16, 17 -2 is a 15. He scores. Sack fly, 3-2. First and second, and it'll be Reggie Smith. 45 off Billingham, center field. All right, the Cardinals actually sent an extra batter to the plate, even though they're down a run. Third inning, George Foster, 6-12, pitcher. Johnny Bench, 2-7 for Johnny, is double 1-6, base hit. Tony Perez, 49, second C. Runner in scoring position for Bobby Tolan, 36, single 1-3. He gets it, single dot. So it's a base hit, but the ball did not go through the infield. So Bench is at third. There's 2 outs. And it's Dave Concepcion, the all-star with a surprising number of RBIs this year. 3-7. Let's take a look at Concepcion's card, folks. He has delivered all year long with this. All-Star, had 25 or so RBIs in like 20 games. Surprising RBI totals for a guy at 287 and 328 at-bats for 73 Cincinnati. This is his first really productive year. 70, 71, and 72. Batting average wasn't there. Glove was emerging. Now he's a 2. He'll eventually, of course, be a 1. 3-7, double 1, single dot dot. That is a single dot dot, and the Reds increase their lead to 4-2. Tolan ends up at third, and it's Cesar Geronimo. 111 for Geronimo. This is a grounder to... Nope, this is a base hit through the hole in the infield where Concepcion was being held at first base because Concepcion was an ace stealer. He was being held on as not getting the scoring position, and Geronimo shoots it through the hole. It is now 5-2. Runners still in the corners for Dennis Mankey. 1-6 is ball 4. We saw that card, and this is how the Reds kill you. They can do everything. They can get the walks, the singles, and of course the homers. The bases are loaded. In a 5-2 game, this could be Joe Morgan's best at-bat of the year. Here's the pitch to Hall of Famer Joe Morgan. 412 flies to left, and the Cardinals survive the threat. 5-2, bottom of the third. Ted Simmons, 34 first. Joe Torre, 2-6, base hit. Sudakis, 1-8 is a K. Mike Phillips, 49, skies a center field. Do we have a point of weakness on Spinks? 10 hits or 8 plus 4 walks, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You got 10 base runners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we'll say if he puts 2 men on in the fourth, we'll call it a point of weakness on this guy. 5-2. He's been pretty bad, but it's stranded runners. Pete Rose leads off. 410, third X. And it's Sudakis over there. 4-24. It's a base hit. George Foster, 310. Left. Johnny Bench, 37, and that's a base hit to right field. Does Rose go coast to coast? Probably. On the Reggie Smith arm? Maybe not. No. Pete's too smart. He realizes Reggie Smith's in right field with a -4 arm. So it'll be first and second. Tony Perez. 311's a K. Can he get through the fourth inning? Bobby Tolan. 37's a walk. He's broken. You got Concepcion. And it could be your season right here. And I think they're going to do it. They're going to go to the pen after 3 2/3 because Spinks just does not have it today. And you're down by 3 and your season is on the brink. They're going to go to Bob Forsch. Added to the roster with a 74 card as a starter relief. He'll go in the rotation with the 75 cards and beyond and be the ace of the staff. But right now he's a youngster. 7-4, a 2.97 ERA, 100 innings for Bob Forsch. Coming on in the fourth inning. Trying to save what's left of the Cardinal season here. And it's the RBI machine, Dave Concepcion, with the bases loaded and 2 outs. And here's the pitch to Dave. 412 rolls to first. So the Reds have stranded a bunch. Too many to count presently, but a lot. They've sent an entire lineup more to the plate than the Cardinals, but only have a 3-run lead. It's Don Buford. 2-4 second. Sizemore 1-3, hit by pitch. Here come the Cardinals again. Lou Brock. 45 center. McBride 6'10. Catcher's X. This is bench a 1E9. High E rating for Johnny. Gets out of the inning. 5-2 in the fifth. It'll be Geronimo. 39 center. Mankey trying to get on for the third straight time. 4-8 is the base hit. He does. Your number 191 hitting number 9 hitter. 2 for 2 plus a walk. Can't do that when you're playing the Big Red Machine. Joe Morgan. 65 Morgan pops to third. With 2 outs, it's Pete Rose by any other name. 1-9 is a base hit in the center field. Mankey will hold at second against... Well, actually... You don't want to get thrown out at third base. He's an 11 runner. 2 on, 2 outs. Let George Foster, the rookie, swing away. 34. He grounds to third. Completely winnable comeback available for the Cardinals as the Reds have botched the base runners. You're seeing how kind of clunky Cincinnati's been this year. They're not dominating by any stretch, but they're winning. They're playing winning baseball, but just not dominating like we thought they might. Bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
All right, in the 5th, Jack Billingham. He has not been a thing of beauty either, but he's only given up a couple runs. He'll be greeted by Reggie Smith. 1-5, let's take a look at the lone Cardinal All-Star. It was Reggie Smith. He got the vote over his teammate Torrey as the lone representative for last place club. This is a 73 card when he was still with Boston. 21 homers, a 303 average, a guy with a brilliant arm, and the range to play center and corner and some first base. Did commit a lot of errors in Fenway Park, not as many in St. Louis, certainly not as many in L.A. Later on. 1-5. Reggie sends one into the Missouri night. It is 5-3. Simba, Ted Simmons, 63. First X, Tony Perez, 313. That is a base hit. And here come your Cardinals. Got to be rooting for these guys, folks. They have a hard luck story if there ever was one. They're a very good team that would be in a division hunt in most other divisions, but not this one. Joe Torre, 38. And Torrey, that is a 6-4-3 double play. That's a killer. And Bill Sadakis, 38, is a walk. Mike Phillips, 63 off Billingham. First X, again, you have the 313. That's another error. And the Reds are clunking this game around. You have 2 on and 2 outs for Buford. He grounds us short. Cardinals staying relevant in this one. We go to the 6th. This is the 3rd inning for Forsch. He's a relief 3. It'll be Johnny Bench. 111, center. Tony Perez, 3-6. Finally, Tony Perez. He had a solo homer to start game 1, then went 0 for since. 3-6 is going to be gone on this card of 73. Again, the Reds, 73 Reds, probably better than the 72 Reds. They will give the 75 Reds a run for their money. Though I prefer Griffey and Foster and the rest of 75. Yeah, never mind. Let me retract that. 27 home runs, a 314 average for Tony Perez in 1973. One of his best years ever in Cincinnati. And that is gone. 6-3 game. Bobby, Tolling of the Bells. 67 is a walk, and it's starting to struggle. Bob Forsch is. Double-A Steeler going to take off the Simmons +1 arm. He's in there on a 1. The T rating is going to be 8, and he's going to be holding at second. That's a stolen base. We put that over there. So, we got a runner at second with 1 out, and it's Dave Concepcion. 4-12 first. With 2 outs, Geronimo, 2-5, grounds the 3rd. So Forsch finishes the inning, but it's 6-3. Bottom of the 6th, Ted Sizemore. 2-9, triple 1-9, base hit. Lou Brock. You're like, oh, I like the fight in these Cardinals. They've had men on in every inning. Lou Brock, 1-8 is a K. Bate McBride, 1-7 is a fielder's choice. Not going to steal down 3 off a bench particularly, and it'll be Reggie Smith. 58 for Reggie, flies to right. So Billingham does what Billingham does. Puts guys on, survives innings, eats innings, and gets tremendous run support generally. For the Reds, we go to the 7th. Bob Forsch. You got righty. He's gone 2 1/3. Put 2 men on in his breaking inning. Oh, we'll let him pitch to his point of weakness. Actually, we'll let him pitch to Mankey here. 1-5, Mankey flies to left, and now we'll go to a lefty to face Joe Morgan. So Forsch actually goes He actually also goes 3 2/3. No, 2 2/3. That's 5 6 1/3. There you go. And Barber will come on in the 7th. Try and nail it on this inning. Steve Barber was actually a member of the California Angels in '72. Heck of a card. Heck of a pickup for the Cardinals. To find this guy. 4-4 with a 2.02 ERA and 58 innings, just sitting out there. Dominant lefty versus lefty situation here. And he'll battle with Joe Morgan. Here's the pitch to Joe. 48. That is going to be a short X. But your shortstop defensively, not very good. Mike Phillips. 348. Showing you some of the warts of this team, but he makes the play. Cardinals are not without warts. We know that. So, Pete Rose. 56 is a K. Stretch time here in St. Louis. We are enjoying listening to the Meters. Strutting 1970 LP. Chicken Strut, Wichita Lyman. All the great old stuff here. Buy your meters, britches, hey last minute, ride your pony, funky meter soul, meter strut. Yeah, all the stuff you expect out of the funky meters on Sundays. Nice reissue label there. Bottom of the 7th. Let's continue. Jack Billingham, starter 8, doing what he does though. He's within 3. You know, probably give up a couple base runners this inning and hopefully no runs is what the Reds are thinking. Clay Carroll has been relatively very fresh. So he could give you 2 innings of relief if you need him. So here we go. It is Ted Simmons leading off. 6'10", catcher's X, bench, 189. And he makes the play. Joe Torre, 38, rounds to short. And Sadakis, 1-3, grounds to first. Hey, give it up to Jack Billingham. Finally, 6 in a row retired late in the game when his team needed it. As they needed to secure this victory today. 3-run lead, 2 innings left. They got to pump up the volume here. 8th inning. You got righty, 3 righties, Tolan righty. I think they're going to continue through their bullpen and go to Chuck Taylor in the 8th, probably Rabowski in the 9th. And a farewell effort, as it looks like it might be turning into. Chuck Taylor will pitch the 8th inning. Was an Expo actually in '74, also pitched for the Cardinals. And 6-2, 217 ERA in 108 innings. Look, the Cardinals, they've got some serious talent on a team that's going to have one of the worst records because of their difficult schedule. It'll be George Foster leading off in the 8th inning. 66, pops to short. Johnny Bench, 49, second X. Second baseman is Sizemore, 321. And he makes the play. And with 2 outs, it's Tony Perez, homered earlier. 49, second X again. Second baseman makes the play again. Bottom of the 8th for Billingham. You got a situational specialist, Denny Riddleberger, warming. You've got Clay Carroll warming. And Bourbon and Aker complete the pen. You got lefty, switch, righty, and then Brock and McBride. I would use Riddleberger for Brock and McBride if we get that far. Don't need him for Phillips leading off the inning. Here is Mike Phillips. 2-9, flies to right field. Buford, 53, pitcher B, and with 2 outs, Sizemore, 2-7 lines to first. Jack Billingham, 9 in a row. Might be pulled in the 9th to get the situational lefty in there for Brock and McBride. We'll see how it plays out. And we got to do it. We got to bring in Al Rabowski to pitch the 9th inning. A complete waste of having this guy on a team that can't win games. What's he closing out? There's nothing to close. They've only won 12 games all year. He won 13 in 75. He was 13-3. A 167 ERA, 97 innings, 75 believed to be his best career year. Maybe next year he'll be needed more. It'll be Bobby Tolan leading off in the 9th for Cincinnati. 46, double 1, base hit. He's going to try a stolen base. He steals second base. Now you got Concepcion off the Mad Hungarian. 47, well, he strikes out and pumps his glove. Geronimo, he'll actually swing away. 3-6 is a K, and with 2 outs, Dennis Mankey. 511. Pitcher X, Rabowski, is an E0. Don't roll E0 home pitchers. That's it. No defense to improve for the Reds either. We're ready to go to the 9th. And does Billingham have the rest of the afternoon off? I think they do. They got Clay Carroll as their closer. It's a 3-run game. I know Billingham's got 9 in a row, but this is a paint-by-numbers finish for the Big Red Machine. You can't win a 3-run lead. You don't deserve it. So, yeah. We're going to go lefty specialist Denny Riddleberger will come in, daring the Cardinals to lift Lou Brock. Denny Riddleberger was actually a Cleveland Indian in 72, 1-3, a 2.50 ERA in 54 innings, outstanding versus lefties, struggles versus righties. But I seriously doubt the Reds are going to pinch hit for Hall of Famer Lou Brock. The Cardinals, I should say. So it'll be Riddleberger in the 9th. And it'll be Lou Brock making this arguably his final up out of the season. 59, second X. This is Joe Morgan, a 1E13. Got to get an error to get on. And he gets an error on Morgan to get on. You got to be kidding me. Joe Morgan kicks the ball. Off-season acquisition, Joe Morgan. There we go again. Lou Brock runs down to second base. Johnny Bench concedes that. That's not a stolen base. Catcher's indifference, I think they call it. So he's at second in a 3-run game. And you got Bake McBride. They will lift him. And this will get the wheels moving. They know they're going to bring in Clay Carroll now. So you want to get a guy who doesn't... yeah. So a guy who can hit righties, not lefties. And we're going to go with... Actually, we're going to go with John Kennedy as a pinch hitter for Bake McBride. And that'll get Riddleberger out of there. And we'll go to Clay Carroll. So Clay had a brilliant 72. He's had a few seasons, at least one season where he had a 0 ERA at the All-Star break. 72, 6-4, 2.25 ERA, 96 innings. That brilliant 72 Cincinnati bullpen that got them to the World Series, surprising the Pirates in the playoffs. Clay Carroll will come on in the 9th inning with Lou Brock at second base, needing 3 outs. And he will face pinch hitter, right-handed batter, John Kennedy. Here's the pitch. 57 is a K. Now he's got to deal with some switch hitters. It'll be Reggie Smith. 5-10, catcher's X. This is Bench. Oh, 1E9. We're going to get errors by 2 Hall of Famers on Cincinnati in the 9th inning? No, we get a foul out. And with 2 outs, this is your Cardinal season right here. It's Ted Simmons. Let's take a look at Simba. Another brilliant card. Look, folks, as much as it seems like a Cardinal obituary, there is plenty of promise for next year. We got some talented St. Louis players here. 75, Ted Simmons hit .332. I think that's the highest batting average for a catcher in the decade. 18 home runs. Just if there wasn't some guy named Johnny Bench in the National League, Ted Simmons would have had a clearer path to starting a bunch of All-Star games, but that's kind of how history plays out sometimes. Some guys get forgotten. So Ted Simmons, with a runner at second, 2 outs versus Clay Carroll. Here's the pitch. 5-10. It's got catcher's X again, and it's a pass ball foul out, and that will end the game. So X's on Morgan and Bench twice with a strikeout in between. That's how the Cardinals season will end. The Reds did what they needed to do. They won 2 out of 3. And we'll take you right into the post game here. The Reds are now a considerable favorite to at least be a wild card, if not a division winner now. They seem relatively safe. Carroll gets the save. A strikeout, and Johnny Bench's defense. Hey, break it up for Jack Billingham. He's had a really nice year. 8 hits, 3 runs. Doesn't always look pretty. Gets the job done, though. 4 walks and a couple strikeouts. Rabowski in the 9th, a hit and a couple strikeouts. You had Chuck Taylor in the 8th, 3 up and 3 down. Steve Barber got the last 2 outs in the 7th. He struck out a guy. It really was the struggles of Spinks that determined this game. Bob Forsch got Concepcion out. Then he got up 2 hits. Then he got up a solo home run and a walk. Spinks will take the loss. He got 11 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. To his credit, didn't give up a lot of damage. Was 5 runs. 2 walks and 3 strikeouts. Not a lot you can do. And here's the thing: do you hook them sooner? And the answer is, you don't in the league we play, because we have only 8-man pitching staff. So normally the starter will go 4 innings, point of weakness or not. If they start batting around in the 2nd and the 3rd inning, then they're yanked after 2 or 3 innings. We've had a pitcher yanked after an inning and 2/3 once. But they generally get to the 4th, so we can conserve our bullpens. Not a lot you can do when you're facing the big red machine. Reds 1019, 0109, 615, 38, 36, 43, 43, 36. This looked more like a Cincinnati Red game. That forebodes well as we take it into the stats here. Reds move a game ahead of the Pirates. Good news for them. But still behind the shocking Cubs. One of the stories of this year is how great the Cubs have played, residing in the same division with arguably the best 2 teams in the National League. See this happen every once in a while in the NFL. You've got 2 division heavyweights beat each other up, then a team does a power sweep behind them and rises all the way to the division. So the Cardinals season ends at a record of 12-21. He hit .254 with a .407 ERA. We'll do an elimination video of them tomorrow. Bob Gibson went 5-5, 6 complete games. He did his best. His last great dominant year of 72. He'll still be pitching for 3 more years, but not quite as effectively. Al Hrabowski, he only had 3 saves. Just nothing, no work to get. He was sitting on the bench with his lunchbox, waiting to be called in, and there was nothing to call in because they weren't winning very many games. Reggie Smith, boy, he was Mr. Cardinal. 9 homers, 27 RBIs. Good that we got him traded to the Cardinals sooner, because we know he'd pretty much be going to the Dodgers soon afterwards. Doesn't stay in St. Louis probably long enough. We're going to get him in St. Louis a little bit longer, as he is the star of this team, it seems. Lou Brock stole 15 bases. What did Lou hit? This is the 118 stolen base card of Lou Brock. He hit 218. You're not going to steal 118 bases if you're hitting 218. He stole 15 bases in 33 games. Yeah, that's not going to get to 118 over a full season. Now the Reds. They are presently 19-15. Hitting .283. They got a .417 ERA. And again, the high ERA, it seems high. Well, the Cubs and Pirates are in their division, so all 3 teams have high ERAs. Matter of fact, you have Pirates at .413, Cubs at .424, because these teams just have such potent offenses. Clay Carroll does have 7 saves. Jack Billingham's put into the 3-hole because of Nolan and Gullett. Frankly, he's outpitched Gullett, who is 2-6. Nolan, they like to have him pitch more frequently, but he cannot. He's only pitching on 4 days rest. Bourbone's been good in the bullpen. Let's move on to the offense. Johnny Bench in the MVP conversation. 11 homers, 34 RBI. Doesn't lead the league in those categories, but he's up there in the conversation. The batting average is spectacular. He's 42 for 129. 326 batting average for a 270 card. So, Concepcion, what a story this is. Dave Concepcion's got 29 RBIs in 34 games. That has been a big reason why the Reds have been winning. He is providing the punch, batting 6th or below in the lineup. But the struggles cannot be, Morgan, remember he stole 4 bases in that one game. Well, he stole 20 for the year, which is good in 34 games. But he's 29 for 137. You know, it's just, he's hitting 212. Joe Morgan hitting 212. Pete Rose, what's Pete hitting? 39 for 136. He's hitting 287. That ain't going to get you the 1973 MVP award. They are drawing walks, as you can imagine. This Dennis Mankey guy, so the batting average is going to be pretty bad, right? That 191 hitter is hitting 186. But you add in the 20 walks, and the dude, let's see, 36 for 116. He's got a 310 on base. So his on base is 130 points better than the batting average. That's the Reds. Yeah, we'll just take this since there's nothing to add. We'll just take this right to the sort of the division here and get you guys sorted right now. No reason to delay it. We got some good information to give you here. As this round is over, so we're going to take you right into the next round setup. So there is how the division wraps here. And so looking at the winning percentages, games over 500, the Giants at a +8 are tied with the Cubs at +8. Giants have a higher winning percentage, never didn't as a tiebreaker, so they get the present number 1. Still a lot of baseball to play to determine seeds. They're presently number 1, Cubs number 2. You got the Mets number 3 at 7 over, Las Vegas 4 over. So those teams will meet first, just for seeding purposes. We'll go page down for a bit. The top seeds will play. Giants will play the Mets, best of 5, to determine who's better because they're a half game apart. That could just determine who gets a bye and who maybe doesn't get a bye. Cubs have a little easier road playing Vegas, as Vegas is 2 games behind. So winning the series 3-2 is not good enough for Vegas. No tiebreaker to use. So, and they'd still be a game back, is why they can't use a tiebreaker. Have to be tied or within a half. So Vegas has to beat the Cubs 4-1. So that paints a pretty picture for the Cubs there to hold on. The unfortunate bit is that doesn't give the Cubs an opportunity to gain ground. They have an opportunity to lose ground in that situation. If Vegas rips off, say, 3 straight wins and they keep playing that series, top teams will play. Now here, it is the second place team is now the Reds, 4 over 500, and this is the Pirates at 2 over 500. We're going to plug in the results here, how this ended. St. Louis, Cincinnati, the Cardinals needed to win 7 of 8. The Reds won 2-1. Cincinnati is 19 and 15. And the Cardinals are 12 and 21. 12 and 21 there. This division, those 2 teams combined to be 5 under. And there we are, and that's all zeroed out with the records corresponding. Perfect. So, these are the third place team winners. Philadelphia, Cincinnati's the second place team. Colorado's the second place team. Houston is the third place team. And then these runner-ups here. 2 under, 2 over, a game under, a game under. So, in the eliminations of the National League, you have Houston, Atlanta, Arizona at Cincinnati, Pittsburgh at Colorado, Philadelphia at San Diego. Houston at Atlanta, Houston's a game under, Atlanta's 2 under. Half game separates them, a simple best of 5. Cincinnati versus Arizona. Arizona's a game under. Cincinnati has a 2.5 game lead over them. Arizona would have to win 4-1. Have to beat them 4 out of 5. No tiebreaker needed. They win 4 to 1. They cover the 2.5 games and have the tiebreaker. Pittsburgh and the Cubs separated by a half game. Simple best of 5. Philadelphia, San Diego separated by half a game. Simple best of 5. Very exciting elimination round of the National League. All these teams. Cincinnati seems comfortable. The rest flirting with 500 and just want to get into the next round. Division titles. Is there any proximity? You got to look at the Reds' proximity to the Cubs. If the Reds dust Arizona in 2 straight, and if the Cubs fall against Vegas like 3-0 or whatever, the Reds could catch the Cubs. Pirates probably can't catch either, though they'll probably be in the wild card hunt at this point. And everything else is up for grabs. Giants, Mets, this is a safe one. These are safe bets. Neither of these teams are going to be eliminated. Could Vegas still not win this division? Sure. They're only 4 over. Colorado's a game up. Arizona's a game under. They could still catch Vegas, but the improbable would have to happen. They'd have to beat the Pirates and Reds. So, and same in the American League. You got West playing East. East at West. The middle divisions playing each other. And you got West playing East. East playing West. The middle divisions playing each other. And that is where we are at. Break up the Cincinnati Reds. They took care of business. Wasn't always pretty in doing so. They beat the Cardinals 2-1. Thanks for checking this out, and we'll see you next time.